Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Truffle Shuffle. It's ages 14 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes 15 to 30 minutes to play. Let me show you how. The goal of the game is to collect the most coins, which you do by filling orders of different types of truffles. This is your game setup for any number of players you're playing with. You start with 4 face-up cards at the very top of your tableau, and then put 5 face-down cards on top of them, and then 6 face-up cards. And when I'm setting it up, the easiest way is just you start with 4 face-up cards, do a row of face-down, and once you've had 3 rows of each kind of card with face-up and face-down, with 1 more in each row, then you know you're finished, and it doesn't take that long, and it's not too tricky. We are doing a 2-player game today, so for your bonus tokens to start out, you do a 2 coin and 2 1 coins. This changes in a 3-player game. It's 2 2s and 2 1s, and in a 4-player game, it is 2 2s and 3 1s. You determine the first player by using the reference cards. One of them has a little pawn up in the top corner. So 2-player game, you just take 2 of the reference cards, shuffle them up, don't look, hand 1 to one player and 1 to the other player. Whoever has the pawn will get to select the first card. Gameplay. This person is going first, and all you do on your turn is you select 1 card. This person's going to select this card. They get to look at it. It is a 5, but that is not public information. It would be, they would hold it up in their hand, and it would be, the only information would be the color on the back of the card. That's all the other player would get to know. Then it is this player's turn, and they get to do the same thing. We'll say they go ahead and select this card. They look at it, they don't show the other player, and ooh, it's a specialty card, and we'll talk about those in a second here. They place it off to this side, and now it's back to this player's turn. And as you can see, by taking those two cards, this one is now available for selection. This one is not, this one is not. In order to select a card, it has to have no other cards over it and be completely available to be selected. So they could select this one, add it in to their hand, and then it's back to this player's turn. Let's take a second to look at the reference cards so you can see the different specialty cards that you might collect. There are a number, and we've already seen a couple. The rainbow, any number, and duplicate cards are pretty straightforward, and the key thing is when you place them down, they don't require any additional cards to change them as part of a set. So if you're playing an any number card down as part of a number set where you're placing 5 5s down, you would just be placing 5 cards down, including that, and that would just be the 5. If you're playing a color change or a number change card, you are playing that kind of on top of the card that you are changing. So that is a key difference when you're playing a set down. And we'll show that in a minute here when we walk through the different types of sets you can collect. And then the other 2 specialty cards are a take 2 and a skip card. And those are pretty simple. So we'll say that it's back to this person's turn, and they collect this card, and ooh, it's a take 2. They don't know this. They have this in their hand. They just take some other card. And now on this person's turn, they can choose for their turn to play one of these cards. They both have a take 2 and a skip, and then collect 3. Very fancy. So they play if they choose to play the take 2, they'd play it off to discard on the side, and then they could just take 2 cards right away and place them in their hand. Otherwise, if they wish to, we'll say instead they want to play skip and then take 3. They place it off over here to discard it, and then they do nothing for the rest of their turn. They can't even place a set down, which is something that comes into play as you have more cards in your hands. So that would be it for their turn. If they played the skip 3, they'd place this down, turns over, this person takes a card, and then on this turn, they now get to take 3 cards. So they'd take 1, 2, whichever 3 cards they wanted, and then they can choose to place a set down if they want, and then their turn is over. Let's talk about filling orders, because that is how you collect coins, and that is how you win this game. If you plan on filling an order on your turn. You still start it like you normally would, where you select a card and place it into your hand. And then on each turn, after you've done that part of the turn, you have the option to fill one order. You can only fill one order per turn. So you can't save up all your cards and then fill 4 orders at the end. It has to be one order at a time. And there's an incentive for doing it earlier because that's how you earn these bonus coins. So they're going to use these 4 cards and do a small straight 5, 4. This number is going to count as a 3, and this is a 2. They're going to place it down, and a small straight is worth 4 coins. So they get 4 coins for that. However, they also get a bonus because they're the first person to lay down an order, and so they get the 2 coin bonus. These are discarded. Nobody would have seen this card. You reserve any of your cards that you didn't use for the set. No one sees them, and it's still face down in your hand. Their turn is over, and it's back to this player. The reference sheet for each kind of set you can collect is pretty straightforward, and there's also examples in the official rule book that just lays it out really well. 1 of each color, 4 of one color. Straightforward. They have examples on the card about small straights versus a small straight flush, all of the same color. Same thing with large straight flush. Where it's a little tricky your first time through might just be the number sets and the number set flushes. All that you need to know there is the number on the card is how many you're supposed to collect of that type of set. So if you're laying down a set of 1, it's always just 1. It would be a 1 by 1. It's just 1 card. A 2 by 2 would be 2 2s. You can't lay down 2 5s to collect the points for that. It would always be 2. Same thing for 3 3s. It's always 3s. 4 4s are always 4s. You can't lay down 5 for a 5 by 5. You can't lay down 5 3s. It always just has to be the number listed on there. So that's the only thing where the first time through it might be a little bit of a question. And for an example of a set that's along these lines, if it was this person's turn and they went ahead and played their take 2 card and they took this number change and then they took this card, which, also happened to be a number change, they could use that. So here's an example of laying down a set, but then having it be a few more cards. So let's say they were collecting a 3 by 3. They could do this to change the numbers on these 2 from a 4 and a 5 to 2 more 3s. This is a wild 5, but this is a purple 4, and it doesn't change the color on that. So this would just be a number set, not a number set flush of a 3 by 3, so that would be worth 6 points. And even though they are laying down 5 cards, this is a set that only requires 3 cards, so they would not collect one of the bonuses for that. That is only for sets that require 4 or more cards. But still, they got a set. That's fine. They have some money. Their turn is over. They used up all of their cards, which is fine. And now it's back to this player. Here's what the end of a round might look like. It is this player's turn, and they're going to go ahead and select this card. And then they have a whole bunch of 4s. They're going to pick 4 of them to lay down as a 4 by 4 set, and they get 4 tokens, but they're going to 4 coins, but I'm going to give them a 5 and give 1 back. There's a bit of making change in this game. This person gets to go, and basically, it's their turn. They're not laying anything down right now. The end of a round, the thing to keep in mind is that you can only end with the number of cards in your hand have to equal the number of players there are or less. So this is a 2-player game, and they can only end with 2 or less cards in their hand. So this person has a 1, 2, 3. They're just, and this is their last turn because the other person gets to pick. They're just going to lay down a 1 and get 1 coin for it, and then just keep those cards for the next round. And this player is going to, even though this card is a color change card, you can still use it as a 1 of each color set. That still counts. And so they're going to go ahead and play all of their cards down, and then they get 3 coins for that. And it doesn't matter that they don't have any cards left. Then you just set up from your reserved cards, you set up the next round of play, and the person who last played or last collected a card will go second for this round. So this person would get to go first again. You play through this round and then one more round after that and tally up your final score, and whoever has the most coins is the winner. So that's how to play Truffle Shuffle. It feels like a more strategic version of Rummikub, but with a better theme because chocolate. So check it out. Thanks and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.